Have you ever really thought about what the next version of the internet, or even the next version of money, is actually going to look like? Well, today, we're cracking open a document that claims to have the blueprint. It's the NovaCoin white paper, and, let me tell you, it paints a pretty wild picture for the future of crypto.
Now, let's be super clear here. We're not trying to sell you on some new coin. Not at all. We're actually using this white paper as a sort of lens, a way to understand the massive, almost existential challenges that are coming for not just crypto, but for all of our digital tech. We're talking about a fundamental shift in computing that could change literally everything. Okay, so let's dive right in. To get where we might be going, we first have to get a handle on where we've been. See, cryptocurrency isn't just one single thing. It's this living, breathing technology that's always evolving. Each new generation is built on the wins and, more importantly, the failures of the one that came before it.
And this timeline, it really lays it all out for us. You had version 1, Bitcoin. It gave us decentralized money, which was huge, but it was super slow and used a mind-boggling amount of energy. So along comes version 2, Ethereum, with its programmable smart contracts. Awesome. But it got so popular that it choked on its own success, leading to insane fees and network jams. Then you had version 3 projects like Chia trying to fix that energy problem with proof of space. Clever idea, but it never really caught on. And most recently, version 4 tokens have been all about interoperability, getting blockchains to talk to each other. But they all left this one giant, glaring vulnerability on the table, the threat of quantum computing, which brings us right to today.
So what is that vulnerability? What are these big, scary problems looming on the horizon? The kind of problems that any version 5 of crypto would absolutely have to solve just to survive. The white paper points out a few, and trust me, they are not small.
Let's start with the big one, the real monster under the bed. Just imagine for a second a master key that could unlock every digital vault on Earth. I'm talking your bank account, your private messages, and yup, your crypto wallet. This isn't some sci-fi movie plot. It's the potential reality of quantum computing.
And what's so critical to understand here is that this threat, it has a deadline. The paper pulls from established research, like this piece from the journal Nature, which suggests the very encryption that keeps Bitcoin and Ethereum safe could be shattered within the decade. It's a ticking clock for the whole industry. Now, what's really fascinating about this slide is just the sheer scale of the energy problem. I mean, just look at that difference. Bitcoin's energy use is on par with entire countries. And with things like the EU's Green Crypto Initiative getting more serious, that kind of power draw is it's not going to fly. Any future tech has to be radically more efficient.
And this right here, this just perfectly shows the final major roadblock: speed. If crypto ever wants to go from being this niche asset to a true global payment system, it needs to handle a ridiculous volume of transactions. Right now, it's not even in the same ballpark. Bitcoin does about 7 transactions a second, Visa does 24,000. The gap is, well, it's just massive.
So you've got these ticking time bombs, the quantum threat, the energy crisis, the scalability wall. In the face of all that, the paper proposes a solution. So let's look at NovaCoin, not as some product to buy, but as a case study for what a version 5 crypto, built from the ground up to solve these exact problems, could actually look like.
And the approach here is really direct. It's like a one-to-one counter for each threat. You've got the quantum threat. Boom, they propose quantum-resistant math. The energy problem? An ultra-low-power model. The speed issue? A technique called dynamic sharding that's aiming for 10,000 transactions a second. It even tries to tackle these really deep-rooted problems, like how to govern a network fairly, and how to get different blockchains to stop living in their own separate worlds.
Okay, so the big question is, how does it claim to do all this stuff? The paper gets pretty deep in the weeds, technically speaking, but the core ideas are really fascinating. So let's pop the hood for a minute and see how this so-called V5 engine is supposed to work. At the heart of it all is this thing called quantum proof of stake and compute, or QPoSC. It's a hybrid system. So like a lot of modern cryptos, you stake your coins to help keep the network secure. But here's the twist. The computers that are securing the network are also doing useful, quantum-safe calculations. So it fuses security and actual computation together, and it does it all while being incredibly light on energy use. And this is where things get really futuristic. The paper proposes using an AI to help govern the whole network. The idea is that the AI can run simulations of how votes on new changes might play out, flagging potential problems and reducing our own human biases before the community of token holders makes the final call. It's a pretty radical idea for making decentralized decisions smarter.
The economics are also built with a very specific philosophy. What's really striking here is that huge 60% slice that is all allocated to a community fund that's specifically meant to drive adoption in developing countries. It's basically a bet that for this to be truly global, you can't just hope for inclusion as an afterthought, you have to build it in from day one. It's an attempt to literally code global equity into the financial system.
And the plan itself is, well, nothing if not ambitious. The roadmap kicks off with a test network late next year, a full public launch in 2026, and a goal to scale to a staggering 50,000 transactions per second by 2029. I mean, that would blow past what even Visa can do today. All right, it is so easy to get swept up in all this cool, futuristic tech, but we have to remember a white paper is a blueprint, it's not the building. And to its credit, the paper is actually pretty honest about the massive challenges that are standing between this vision and the real world.
At the end of the day, even the greatest ideas have to survive contact with reality. These quantum algorithms, they're brand new. They could be full of bugs. Trying to convince people to switch away from giants like Bitcoin, that's a massive uphill battle. And all of this has to happen while navigating the constantly shifting maze of government regulations. Any one of these things could be a project killer.
And that is really the key takeaway here. Whether NovaCoin itself ever actually happens is almost beside the point. What's really important is the set of problems it's trying to solve. Quantum security, energy efficiency, global scale, fair governance. These are not just crypto problems. These are the defining challenges for the next generation of our entire digital world.
So as we wrap this up, the question I really want to leave you with is this. Are we looking at a plausible blueprint for a safer, a faster, a more equitable internet? Or is this whole vision of a quantum-resistant, AI-governed world just a beautiful but maybe unattainable digital dream? I guess the next few years are going to tell us.